background. To start with, Mr. Pandurang sir, who we would be joining us in some time, and we would be introducing him. And then Sagar Bhalotia sir, who is co-founder of the TagzFood and a brand that caters to people love for snacks without giving up the nutrition. He has a degree in chemical engineering from IIT Bombay and an extensive experience working in the FMCG sector. Next, we have Maloo sisters in our panel, which is Anushree and Ananya. They are co-founder of the male hygienic unique brand NuutJob. They both of them started this venture amidst the pandemic in 2021 with a mission and aim of making a difference in the society and helping people change their mindset from the typical taboo of Indian general mindset. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to Dr. Nimi Choudhary, an author, avid traveler, and our entrepreneurship development faculty. He is an MBA and PhD in management and carry extensive 28 years of academic experience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashmeet. Thank you very much, and very good evening to all of you. Good evening to Sagar. He's here, and I must.
Good evening.
Good evening, and I must take this opportunity to thank Ashmeet and organizers of EdCon to have me here this evening and allowing me this opportunity to be talking to some great minds and some daring people. We all understand that idea is a funny thing and it doesn't work unless you do. So this is a great opportunity. We all ideate, but it's a pleasure to be talking to some people who have ideated and have shown their ideas the light of the day. I know Pandurang and Anushree or Ananya.
Ananya would be joining, sir.
Ananya, okay. So Ananya would be joining us. But we also understand that Sagar has some commitments. So let us begin talking to Sagar. And they say that you have to have your heart in business and business in your heart. And that is exactly what we could see when we saw Sagar, making that presentation, that brilliant presentation to the Shark Tank. Sagar, why don't you begin by, letting our audience understand how you conceived that idea and how you went through that idea, and at what stage is this idea right now? Over to you, Sagar.
Okay, great. Am I clear?
Yeah, absolutely, Sagar.
Awesome. Okay. So I would say that starting something up was, you can say it was there in my mind for a long time. You can, since my IIT days, I always wanted to start something of my own. Now, not starting, or you can say that, starting something randomly, or, just kind of at that age, I did not want to do that. So I got my placements into, in a startup called Quicker that time. And I basically started learning about how to start a project from a scratch and, kind of build it up, scale it up. And you can say I've worked in a couple of startups and, different sectors also, whether it's hospitality, whether it's consumer goods. Within consumer goods, it's, a little bit about food, F&B and apparels. So I've worked in multiple sectors, and most places I was basically starting a startup within startup. It was a smaller project or a new category or a new idea, which I kind of, built the team around, and then developed it, scaled it up, built the teams and hierarchies, and kind of reached a stage, and then kind of tried different other things as well to sustain it. Now that's where, when I was in Healthify Me, I met Anish, who's my co-founder, and you can say that we connected really well on certain things which we felt that are similar in terms of thought process, which is like passion for creating brands, creativity, something, making a kind of global brand. By the same time, we had a lot of complementary skills. So I found a really good co-founder in him, and that's how you can say that we started talking about building something of our own, or a startup of our own. Now the idea of tags as or a tags as pop chips brand did not really, it's that we knew it. So we obviously took almost like 5 to 6 months in kind of coming up with various sectors, which we can work within the consumer goods. That was something clear to us, that we want to make something tangible, a tangible global brand, which people outside India can also hold and, be proud about. Now we worked and kind of experimented with a little bit in the cosmetic sector, or, the baby food sector, in F&B also. So there were multiple layers, you can say, that, we did some market analysis that in India, the F&B, it's like divided into savory, and we wanted to do in the snacking sector, because snacking is a very huge market. Within that, there is a savory and sweet. Within the savory, the potato chips is like the biggest category. So it's like there is a huge market fit in the sense that there's a market sizing that, we were able to do. Now within that, we found that there is no alternative to potato chips. So we, as a brand, wanted to create something which is innovative, which is tasty, and which is better for you. Now we did not want to jump into a completely the healthiest of the snacks or healthiest of the brands or something. We wanted to create something which is better for the consumers from the existing options that are available. And then we kind of figured out that the gap in terms of branding and positioning, we saw that there is no brand in the market which is talking directly to the Gen Z audience, which is the new audience. And that's where we found the gap in terms of alternative to potato chips. We found out what all is happening in the world. Now we came across this brand called Pop Chips in US. Now, but as we did not want to import it and sell it, we wanted to create it in India. So we decided that, we did some testing, we did some market testing around it, and we found out that it can be as tasty as your existing fried potato chips, which have been there in market for a very, very, very long time. So there is no new brand which has tried to innovate in India. I think that's how the mass brands work. So we are looking at multiple niches in terms of category positioning and pricing. So we kept ourselves a little under Pringles, but a little premium as compared to other fried chips brands which are there in the market. So working all this out, and then coming up with the brand name that it is something which should be very Gen Z. Hashtag is something which everyone relates to in the social media generation. So we kind of, and in terms of phonetics, we only wanted like one or two, so that it's very easy to recall. So we switched to kind of only one vowel and 4 letters. So hash came in our logo, and tags came as a brand name. So that's how you can say the journey started, and we kind of started experimenting for 10 months to build this product completely in India. And almost in February 2020, we launched this product in the market and started doing our market fit and positioning and branding, and then everything kind of took on from there.
Right. Sagar, I just want to, I'm like getting a bit curious about something. Like you worked in the industry for almost 10 years, right?
Almost
10 to
8 years. Yeah, 8 years
8
before
years.
starting up. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people who have this, these ideas and who want to start, and then they get into industry to earn some experience, and gradually the entrepreneur within them, it dies. So how did you keep that fire burning? That
No, I would
focus.
say that the fire started kind of dimming for sure. Because with time you start getting used to a comfortable lifestyle, or a certain, what you say, you obviously would have, everyone would have heard that the biggest addiction is a monthly salary. So that was there obviously, but there was this, what you say, that something which was always kind of running in the back of my mind, that um, what maximum I can stretch, like where I just decide that I cannot still do it. So obviously I needed a little bit of support from my family in terms of that I want to take this plunge. There was one thing which you can say, that having a good co-founder at that stage is very important, and meeting a mind with which you can with whom you can together think of something that this can be done, and that confidence you can kind of build in. Sometimes that confidence it does not come completely from your within. You maybe require a little push or something. So that's also something that really helped me. And when we started kind of, that was the thing that it also a little planned, that I have a little bit of savings which I can utilize maybe for 1 or 2 years, that if in case I cannot draw any salary or something, then having that comfort that I'm ready to give up that lifestyle. Maybe if something is not working out and I'm living on savings, I will have to probably drop off some foreign trips or your holidays or something. I'll have to work really long without even expecting anything out of it. So that mindset creation, that I'm taking this 3 years of timeline at least. After that, if something is not working out, complete not working out, I will probably move back. So that mindset creation happens with a little bit of support from outside and within you. If you get that feeling that it can be done, and what I'm trying to work on, 3 years I'm ready to give for it completely, like without thinking that if it's going to be successful or not, and I'll be back to zero without any money in account or respect or whatever it is. I don't know. So like thinking of the worst, taking a timeline was something that I was like okay with. Okay, let's go with. And that's how I ended up taking that.
That's precisely what I meant when I said you need to be daring to be, taking this kind of a plunge.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, a little experience often upsets a lot of theory. And let us all welcome Ananya to the show. And all of us,
Hello,
hello Ananya. And
how are you?
we're all doing good, and we were all excited like the sharks when two of you made that presentation. So why don't you tell our audiences how did you come? I mean, we heard how did you come up with that idea, but briefly, can you tell us how did you come up with this idea, and how is your idea growing, and how is it doing?
I think Anushree and I started this company because we faced a personal problem, right? And I think basically why we wanted to maybe start this male intimate hygiene segment was that it when we went out, okay, we saw a problem at home, yes, but when we went out and we saw that male intimate hygiene is overlooked, quite often. Imagine, like, women go out and they see men scratching their intimates in public, and it's nothing that really raises any concern. But if a girl goes out and there's a little bra strap that's showing, everybody looks at it. So it's quite stereotypical on how little things are given leeway. So we thought about it while doing our research also, and we felt very passionately about the cause that we catering to. Obviously that was a personal problem, and to find a solution to that, we found a very big problem that India was facing. So yeah, that's how we came on to starting NuutJob, and we wanted to be we wanted the brand to be really funny. I mean, to be relatable to the youth of today is what we really wanted. And I feel humor is what really helps in selling a product like this. The moment that you destigmatize shame from a product like this, it's only going to happen through humor. The moment that you make it cool. So that's what we really want to do through NuutJob, and that's how we did our presentation. We made it cool, we made it funny. You laugh at us, you laugh with us. So yeah, that's how we aim to go ahead with NuutJob.
You position it something like a national problem,
It's not it's a problem that's quite unaddressed. A lot of men just let it just go because it's so normalized. They don't look at it as a problem. But sometimes it's not a sight for sore eyes if somebody is scratching their intimates. So yeah.
I'm wondering, this election season, this should be one of the top problems that party should be addressing, no? Doing something. So your idea was taken hands-on by all the sharks, and okay, Anushree, okay, Anushree is also there.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
welcome,
hi
Anushree.
everybody.
Yeah. So your idea was taken hands-on by all the sharks, but it's really an exciting idea, fun-filled idea. I mean, at least you presented it with a lot of fun. But one thing that comes back to us is that because it is by and large a technological solution, you have a formulation and you are coming up. Don't you fear that there would be competition? And how do you plan to, offset this competition or defend your idea against this competition? Any one of you, Anushree or Ananya, you can come in.
So I'm sure there'll be competition. I'm sure. See, there are lots of brands here in India that are doing very similar things. But you need to be you need to pave the way for you. You need to change the game so that others take inspiration. What they'll do, if there are bigger players also that come into the market, then what they'll do is they'll broaden the market for us. They'll reduce our education timeline, education cost as well. But they will make people notice that there is a problem like this. They will cater to it. They'll make things easy, but we will be known as somebody like what Beardo did. Beardo were game changers. They were the first in the line to start something like this. And there are obviously companies that followed, but you'd obviously remember the first people who started talking about an issue like this and were the pioneers in the industry. So we're more than happy for us to have more competition. It'll only help us cater to the cause, and it'll keep us on our toes to think of ways that what we could do differently. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great lesson for all our listeners and all our audiences. Expansion of market, which in fact, looking at it from this point of view, that it reduces your education cost and other things. I'll take this question to you, Sagar. Like, how do you, intend to, because that is the same kind of situation, similar situation, that there's competitors would rush in should your product succeed in the market. So how do you intend to defend that?
See, again, I think something pointed out, similar to that, that education thing, that we are trying to create a new category, like pop chips in India were not known. At the same time, things like costs and margins, multiple things also work. So we are the only brand in India at the moment who are making the complete product from the base raw materials to the final thing in India itself. And we have the IP, we have developed it ourselves. So we have been able to kind of defend the margins a lot. So that is one sign that will probably take time to kind of reach that stage where they are also kind of having similar kind of unit economics. So every new category or brand, I think firstly requires a competition for sure, because that's how the category develops. Second thing, I feel that the market in India is like huge, so there is a chance, or there's a space for multiple brands as well. So it's not I'm not PepsiCo today that I'm going to launch a new product and I will reach in like whatever pan India at every single tier 3 city village and something. I'm not creating a mass brand. I'm trying to create a niche brand itself, a little mass premium. So obviously this is a huge market. So I would say that there is space for everyone. It's good that there is competition so that people can then evaluate and also understand the concept and then probably choose. So there our onus lies that you are able to create an awesome product, a very tasty product, so that you are able to, once this category develops, you are able to sustain that. So that is very important. So we do know that maybe in a couple of years this category is going to pick up and will be like known by everyone, and that is the time we have to take the edge. Till if we are not able to do that in that time frame, then maybe we are not able to sustain. So that is something that we keep on working on, that we are able to establish this.
Okay. Audiences, the secret of business is to know something that nobody else knows. And with this note, let us welcome. I just saw my friend Pandurang Taware. Have we lost him again?
No, sir, he has joined from farm. I
Yeah.
guess he's here.
Yes, Pandurang.
Professor Choudhary ji, namaste from the farm.
कैसे हैं आप?
Because I am at yes, namaste sir, namaste. एकदम फर्स्ट क्लास सर, आपकी दुआ है.
अरे कैसे हम ये चाह रहे हैं कि you share with these young students of IIM Sirmaur something about your journey, idea कैसे आया, and how did you went about it?
Okay. Sir, should I stop the video so that I will get little bandwidth?
Of course, please.
Because I'm middle in the farm, And that is the reason here the little bit internet problem is there.
Please, please.
Okay. Good evening, all the faculties and respected Professor Choudhary sir, and all the students and all my co-pitchers in the Shark Tank. So it's good to see all of them in my batch and other who have pitched along with me in the and how I came into Shark Tank, and before that, how we started agri-tourism activities in the farm. So here I go. I belong to a small family in Baramati Tehsil, and we have almost 6 uncles and 2 aunties with a joint family living in a big haveli there. And my father always wanted me to study agriculture and do something for the farmers, for the betterment of the country farmers. But even after I was ranked first in the 10th standard, and because in the 12th standard I got very less mark of 51%, I could not got through the BSc Agriculture admission. And that is how I landed up doing computer science. And that was the only option I had, because otherwise I would have been illiterate that time. So I studied computer science and immediately joined tourism industry, working with Club Mahindra Holidays. And on one side, I had a little bit of technical knowledge in the industry of sales and marketing, operation of the resorts, like establishing that. And something for the agriculture, and that is agriculture and tourism. We brought together and we started a concept called agri-tourism in Maharashtra. So before that, we did a market survey and found that 43% of the urban Indians, they don't have relatives left in the villages. And that is how it boosted our confidence, saying that if out of 2 people staying in urban India, one does not have relatives in the villages, how they are going to see the village culture, tradition, practices, how it is being grown.
We have lost you.
And that is how in 2003 we started the concept. And 1 minute. Sir,
No, it's okay, better now.
Are you? Can you able to hear me?
Yes. Now it's better. Please.
Sir,
continue.
can you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Should I continue?
Yes, Pandurang.
Okay.
We are.
And that is how, sir,
Please continue.
Started agri-tourism activities. Yeah, that is how we started agri-tourism activities. And as of today, we have more than 600 farmers in Maharashtra doing agricultural tourism activities. And because of agri-tourism, they have got sustainable income, sustainable employment, and sustainable livelihood, not only for the individual farmers, but also for the rural women staying in the villages, youths staying in the villages. And that is the reason today we can proudly say that there are some of the case studies. They have left the urban city job and they have come back to the farming and doing wonderful job, showing at one side how to urban India, how the agriculture, traditions, culture of the village is. And on the other side, because of agri-tourism, there are certain definitely advantages has happened to the farmers. One is that they themselves was able to keep clean, because if some guests are coming at their home, they themselves keep themselves clean. They keep their house clean. They keep their, the parisar and the area clean, their farm clean. And that is how the environment conservation has happened. And also, because of agritourism, there is a conservation of culture, traditions of the village. Because of agritourism, we have conserved the environment of the local communities there. And that is how it is a win-win situation, not only for the farmers, but for the youths, women's, and other side, urban India, people living in urban India, and also the government, because government cannot give job to every farmer's son and daughter. And that is how agritourism is on all sectors. Sir.
Pandurang, I have some important good questions for you, but I'll come back to you. Sagar, I know, has to leave. He has a meeting. So we promised him that we'll free him a bit early. Sagar, just a comment, one of the statements that you made on the show I liked was that Nirasha should not hold you back, right? Remember?
Yeah,
saying that, yes. So what is your message for our young would-be entrepreneurs in the audience?
See, I think what I feel is, and what I personally relate to the most, and see, I'm still on my journey, and trying to reach somewhere. I feel if I have to tell something to people who are willing to, get into this and start something of their own, I think perseverance is like one thing which is going to keep you kind of going, because there will be obstacles in a lot of ways. Like your peers are going to be probably moving ahead in life. You feel that from different angles, or like the metrics that people see, and it's possible that your family is not supporting, or a lot of people might have a lot of issues, that so obstacles are going to keep on coming. You might not be able to create that market fit, that you might have to pivot a couple of times. You're not able to come out with a successful thing, but the perseverance is the key. So which is something that you will have to kind of cling on to, that if you have faith in yourself that I can do it, I am working on something really big problem, and it is something substantial to cater to, and can create an impact, can create a value for a lot of investors, or society or something, then I think you're on the right track. Just hold on and kind of keep going. So your belief in yourself is going to be the main motivator. So don't expect it to come from anyone else. So that is something that I feel is what they should really kind of work on.
Thank you, Sagar, for that very important message to our audiences. Anushree and Ananya, like we would like to know, like, what are some of the challenges that you're facing? Because I remember you were like just 3 or 4 months into the business when you appeared on that episode. So now some time has passed. So like, what are some of the initial challenges that you are facing with your, I mean, these are just the challenges. So yeah, if you can just share with our audiences, what are some of those challenges?
Initially, when Ananya and I started with this idea that like how we saw the problem at our own home, like our father using talcum powder for their intimate areas to keep them dry, and this was the summer time. So this is how the conversation started, that why are you using so much of talcum powder, or what is the issue? So initially they were not very open to talk about it, but then gradually we had a discussion over this, that what is the problem. And females have so many options for their hygiene, and men, they don't really find the need to use something like this. And then we started our research and came through that there are products available in Europe and US, but India is still a taboo market for such products. And I think challenging was that to convince our mother that Ananya and I are at a marriageable age, and coming from a Marwadi family and starting something like this
was a big challenge for us, and convincing the society around, the people around us, that two females want to start something like this and they want to address a male intimate hygiene problem. So, but then we overcame such challenges, and here we are, that we came on a very big platform like Shark Tank India, and we gave a good big message to the audience that not just females, but I think even male needs intimate hygiene products, and even they need to take care of their intimate areas.
No, yeah, that's right. But my question was like, at what stage is your project now, and any challenges related to the project right now?
So still we are educating people, and we are trying to reach out to the mass with our numerous posts on Instagram and social media. And I think we, as Ananya said, as big names, big brands will come, the education level will lower, because already people will be much aware about the issue and the problem. So here we initially we want to address the problem. We want to show people there's a problem, and here we are with the solution to the problems.
So, a big challenge that we're facing right now, if I may say so, is that people don't take a brand like this very seriously. They think that this is a, issue that does not require a lot of attention. So that is something that we really need to work for. Like Anushree said, education is going to be a big task. That is a big challenge that we're facing. Another challenge that I see. On the way, anyway, like we mentioned, we're at a very nascent stage. We've only completed 9 months till till now. We started in July end. What we feel at the moment is that we need sources, we need a team that helps us put out the right message. So a lot of people need to know the product well to put out the right kind of message. You cannot be very out there and hurt somebody's feeling, but you need to be quirky. So to have the right mix of humor and education is what we need. And that we feel, when we talk to a lot of agencies also, sometimes they uh, either play it too safe, either they're too out there that it might hurt somebody's feeling. So that is something that we feel is a challenge right now, for them to understand what the product really is and what the brand really stands for. So I feel that is what we are we've started facing. So yeah, that's that. And I hope that this is taken as this is a brand that's taken seriously. To remove that idea, this is something that you should feel embarrassed about, is something that we want to remove. That's a big challenge right now. Males buying something like this, what they have in their mind is like, this is something that falls under the itch guard drain. This is not a product that treats itching, right? So this is a product that you use so that you avoid itching a little later. There are 3 steps. One, there are precautions, then there's a medicine, and then you go to the doctor, right? So we want to cut that embarrassment thread, that this is not a product that you should be embarrassed buying about. So that's a challenge that we're facing, and we really hope to take it to the people and make it a ballsy brand, so that you're happy buying a product like this, and it's something that you're proud to even show in your bathroom, so you're not really embarrassed.
Have you started production of your product?
We have been selling since the past 9 months. We are on marketplaces like Amazon and Flipkart, and we're doing great sales on our website as well.
Right. Pandurang ji, if I may turn to you. I have a feeling that investors are a bit skeptical, investing in tourism-related projects. Like, do you share what I feel?
Professor,
Yeah.
I could not get the question because of the low bandwidth.
No issues. I'll repeat it. My question was that I have a feeling that investors are a bit skeptical in putting their money in tourism-related ideas and projects. Do you also have a similar feeling, or? What?
Okay.
Apsunpai?
See, as I think, okay, as per my what I've studied in Shark Tank and what I've gone through is basically they thought that even though agri-tourism is going to be a social entrepreneurship and also it is going to earn money, but they were not able to differentiate between the general tourism product and the agri-tourism because uh, they thought that in general tourism product there are many OTAs now in the market, and they thought that it is going to be the same, and how Pandurang is going to compete with the big daddies of OTAs in tourism, and that is the reason they must have backed out. But as far as the niche tourism, agri-tourism market is concerned, definitely there is a market, and I'm afraid that they were not able to understand the potential of how agri-tourism is going to be, and that is the reason I thought. I mean, I share the same feeling with you.
No, I mean, I was not only confined to what sharks thought, but what is your view? Like, in general, investors don't come, and it's normally the entrepreneur who brings in all the resources for tourism-related projects. I mean, that's my feeling because most of the times that I see some of my students doing it, or otherwise, it is they who, burden themselves with this whole business of, looking for funds and other things. Investors don't come, I mean, especially for smaller businesses and niche businesses. So, what is your feeling? Is it this way, or other than the sharks, people generally are looking forward to investing in tourism related businesses?
No, I think because after sharks, in fact, you will not believe that I had two meetings with Make My Trip, almost three meetings with Oyo, and almost 3-4 meetings with Club Mahindra. So these people are actually coming and visiting us, and we are meeting them, and they are definitely ready to invest in our company and our business. So it is not that investors are not looking for investing in tourism businesses, but there has to be a differentiator between general tourism product and the rest. Like for example, if there is a good opportunity in adventure tourism activities all over India, because India is supposed to be the youngest country in all over the world, and uh, the age group between 20 and 35-40, they are looking for adventure tourism activities very seriously. And if at all adventure tourism product is there, investor will definitely invest in this.
One more thing that you mentioned on that during that episode was that you are targeting the domestic audiences.
Yes.
My question is that would it not be a sane idea to have international visitors coming in, because probably they have a bigger, psychological gap from
Spending capacity also is
not
bigger for
not only about spending capacity. Definitely, that's a big reason, but for an Indian youth, maybe the village is not in sharp contrast to what they normally see. But for people, coming from outside India, it's a huge ritual inversion. So probably they are more excited with Indian rurality as compared to the domestic audiences. What's your take on this?
Yes, because I agree with you, but here basically why we as a farmer are doing agritourism activities is we are actually asking tourist, the consumer, to come to our farm. So tourist is also a consumer. Today, the consumer is buying all his agricultural produce from the retail market. Whether it is a gehu, whether it is a chawal, whether it is a lot of other things he is buying from the retail market. And on the other side, if you take the example of farmer, farmers' life depends on three most important things, that is rain, produce, and price for the produce. So rain and produce is not in our hand, but definitely we want to keep price of the produce in our hand. So we are asking tourist consumer to come our farm, see the farm, and while going back, I mean, you be at the village, enjoy the culture, traditions, eat the local food, and while going back, you buy wheat directly from us, you buy chawal directly from us, you buy fresh agricultural produce directly from us, you buy handicraft craft arts from directly artisans from the village, you buy homemade products of the rural women, which is made by the rural महिलाओं ने जो बनाया है वहां पे, तो ये आप खरीदिए. अभी इसलिए हम डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट चाहते हैं कि ये डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट ही हमसे गेहूं खरीदेगा, चावल खरीदेगा, एग्री प्रोड्यूस खरीदेगा. तो इसीलिए डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट इज अ बिग यस फॉर अस.
Okay, yo, I see the point. I see the point.
International tourists are welcome, definitely are welcome to us. They can see the traditions, culture. महात्मा गांधी जी हमेशा बोलते थे कि इंडिया विलेजेस में बसता है. तो अभी ऐसा उठ के तो नहीं होगा कि अमेरिका का जो टूरिस्ट है वो डायरेक्टली उठ के वीजा लेके मेरे फार्म में आने वाला है, ऐसा नहीं होगा वो. तो वो कभी आएगा कि मुंबई में, पुणे में किसी के पास आए हैं, वो कॉर्पोरेट कंपनी का काम हो या लेजर टूर हो, रिलेटिव्स को मिलने के लिए आए हैं, तो वो ये जो रिलेटिव है यहाँ का, वो अगर उनको ग्रामीण भारत दिखाना है, ग्रामीण महाराष्ट्र दिखाना है, तो ये यूएस के रिलेटिव्स को, फ्रेंड्स को वो लेके हमारे फार्म में आएगा. सो देर इज नॉट डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट, लाइक फार्म का डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट यूएस से नहीं होगा. तो ये जो लोकल पीपल है, लोकल पीपल ही लेके आएंगे टूरिस्ट को, इंटरनेशनल टूरिस्ट को.
Okay, I'll come back to
Yes,
you, Ananya and Anushree. I just want to understand that your appearance on Shark Tank, did that in any way supported your brand? And
Yeah, appearance as two men entering, or how we are. I'm sorry, two
no,
men
I mean,
entering.
the way you presented, and since you were there for like quite some time, around 16 minutes, I saw. So did that actually increase the visibility of your brand, and like
I
what?
think they really liked our pitch that day. They thought that just nobody had done something like this before we had, so they were quite like, oh, these girls are going to have fun, why not? I think when you look at TV, they want something that increases visibility also, and they thought that this would be a pitch that would be something that would get people like, okay, what is it? It could be anything. It's like if you it's like YouTube, where it's a clickbait of sorts, right? So I felt that this could be a clickbait, why it could have been a elongated one also. But also I think they saw a story behind. I'm sure they saw a story in a lot of other brands that had come, which I feel was cut down because they wanted to show more episodes after ours, which prior to, I think, the 31st of December, they showed 3 pitches per day. And I think after that they took on to showing more pitches, which is why they might have reduced each pitch's time. We got really lucky that we got to be shown for a longer time. They showed us how they showed our family also during the pitch. But I think everybody was given equal time, but I guess they wanted to show more brands, which is why we got more visibility, and we're very thankful to that.
So a related question is, did this presence help you, create a brand recognition, a wider brand recognition beyond the Shark Tank audiences?
Big time, even
was-
internationally, the kind of reach that Shark Tank has, we've got so many calls, especially a lot from Pakistan, who said that they really want a product like this. It's so nice to see that so many people are pouring in the kind of love that there is to a brand like this. I mean, we could definitely tell with the kind of sales growth that we saw through this. What Shark Tank does is, this is the best kind of advertisement that you're doing on TV, where they're not switching the channel once an ad plays. You have to be the best salesperson that there is on the show, and you get if you do it well, you get the time that we did on TV. So, yeah, I think that is the best time that you get. Your pitch has to be amazing. You need to capture the, audience's attention. I feel that our pitch had humor. We cried also at the pitch, so there was a lot of drama that had happened, and it was fun. And I'm sure that is something that would get for good TV time at prime time. So yeah.
And maybe we can look forward to you as the next gen ambassadors for building bridges with Pakistan, right?
I would love that. I would love to do that. It's quite fun. At least build intimate relations with them through our brand.
Pandurangji, back to you. Like, did your, I mean, participating in this Shark Tank, do you think that it contributed to your brand?
सर अभी क्या बताए, हमारे वेबसाइट का बैंडविड्थ था 15 GB, तो पहले दिन ही क्रैश हो गया वो। तो मतलब 21 तारीख को हमारा एपिसोड आया और मतलब बंद हो गया, वेबसाइट बंद हो गया। हमारा जो ऑफिस का लड़का था वो कुछ करता था वेबसाइट के, वो बोला कि सर वेबसाइट तो बंद हो गया, अभी क्या करने का। तो ये टुक अस ऑलमोस्ट टू डेज टू गेट द बैंडविड्थ, फिर 100 GB लिया। तो अच्छा करते करते इंस्टाग्राम में लोग आने लगे। मतलब फोन तो इतना था कि वाइफ और मैं उधर ही बैठ के लोगों के साथ बात करते थे, 1-1 घंटा 2-2 घंटा, एक के पीछे एक के पीछे एक। तो मतलब दे वर एक्चुअली मतलब वेरी ईगर टू यानी हमारे के साथ बात करने के लिए। उनको बहुत अच्छा लगता था कि वो बोले अरे पैसा छोड़ दो, पैसा नहीं मिला तो भी चलेगा, लेकिन आप इतना अभी आप कर रहे हैं, 600 किसानों को आप जोड़े हैं और किसानों के साथ अभी इतना आप अच्छा कर रहे हैं। तो कुछ लोग तो फोन करके बोलते थे कि नहीं नहीं हम सॉफ्टवेयर में काम करते हैं, वो आप छोड़ दीजिए, आप 50 लाख का आप चिंता मत करिए, अपन पैसा थोड़ा थोड़ा जमा करके हमको 50 लाख आपको दे देंगे। लेकिन मतलब इतना था वो कि आई एम ऑल्सो फार्मर सन, आई एम वर्किंग इन दिल्ली, आई एम वर्किंग इन पुणे, तो आप कीजिए, हम आपके साथ है। तो वो हमेशा बोलते हैं ना कि आप आगे बढ़ो, हम साथ है। तो बोला मतलब मजा आया, इट वाज फन कि हमारा वाइफ ने मतलब इतना मेकअप पहली बार किया था 40 साल में। वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, वो क्या लाइक वो बोलते थे कि मैं हीरोइन के जैसा मेकअप वगैरह वो सब करके। तो ये वो कभी पाउडर भी नहीं लगाती मेरी वाइफ। तो ये बोला ऐसा क्या हो गया अभी, चलो मजा आ गया सर, मतलब फन।
मैं भी, आपका मैसेज आया कि आपका एपिसोड आ रहा है, तब से शार्क टैंक देखना शुरू किया और हम काम हो गया हमारा। दिस इज गुड। lot of our audiences would be interested in talking to you, and probably they have their questions. But before we get to that round, akhir mein, in the last, like first Ananya and Anushree, what is your message for the would-be entrepreneurs that we have here in our audiences, especially the girls? Because your message would be should really encourage them. So what's your message for them?
So yeah, Anushree, sorry, go ahead.
No, please continue.
So what I feel is, as an entrepreneur, you're so in love with your idea that you sometimes forget to look at what flaws there are. So Anushree and I, while we were doing it, it's you put your heart and soul into it. तो कई बार लगता है कि यार मैंने तो इतना सब सोच के बनाया है, इसके अंदर कोई फ्लॉ ही नहीं हो सकता. So sometimes you need somebody to give you that reality check as an entrepreneur, because for you that idea is the best, I think. But don't take it from anyone and everyone. Don't have people pull you down. I feel ki if you have that one trusted person, for us it was our fathers, so they gave us the right kind of feedback, and they helped us tell the right from the wrong and help build this company. Obviously after you launch it, it's the customer who gives you more feedback on how you can grow. But I think as an entrepreneur, initially when you're developing the idea, always have somebody who gives you that reality check that this is what you could do, but also tells you as is. For the women, I think Anushree would really help you with something that we've also learned. Anushree, you could.
Yes, Anushree.
So I think for women, I think we both wanted to be our own bosses. So that is how we started something like that. That now initially we were working. Of course, we had our jobs and all that. So we started with this thing. And I think for females, I think in you there will be people who want to pull you down still, but I think you need to put your foot down, like how we did with our family, with our friends, or whatever, that no, but we really want to do something like this, no matter what people come and say. And I think for young people, I think you should have that confidence, because we also got the messages from people that we loved your confidence, how you were pitching on the TV and how you were addressing a product like this. So I think if you have the confidence in you that you can do it actually, and you are good to go.
I think it's the confidence that helps you break the
Yeah.
glass ceiling. So yeah, I think go for it, and I think we're really happy to have the kind of support that we did from our family to help us achieve what we did. And even if you've seen Shark Tank, there are so many women who've defied odds, right? Even the one that came after us, Rakhi, her
Yes.
family doubted her, but she still was very persistent that she wanted to start a business like this. So confidence, not saying that you should fight with your family, but I think if you've got the confidence, go for it, and I'm sure if you really believe in the idea, you can prove them wrong.
And I remember Sharks advised you to, both of you, to put in your papers. Have you done that?
Yeah,
Yes.
we put the same day that we got out, the moment that we got out of the tank, I sent a message to my boss, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. I have a better thing that I want to do, but I think that I can change things through this. So yeah, we put in the same day that that we went on to Shark Tank.
In any case, your presence on the Shark Tank itself was, kind of a resignation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my bosses at my office, they were really, I think they were very supporting when I told them that I'm going to Shark Tank to pitch, and they said, absolutely go for it. And they wished me the best. Even if no offer, I think they were really supportive throughout. So I'm quite grateful for that.
Good. Pandurang ji, आपका कोई message, any message for our students?
मैसेज तो मेरे तरफ से बहुत है, बिकॉज मतलब ऑल यू आर ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स ऑफ इंडिया. मुझे इतना ही कहना है कि आपका जब पढ़ाई होगा, आप जो भी पढ़ेंगे, जो भी नॉलेज, इंफॉर्मेशन, इंटेलिजेंस आपको मिलेगा, मेरा इतना ही रिक्वेस्ट है, सी दैट यू यूज दिस नॉलेज फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ द फार्मिंग कम्युनिटीज इन इंडिया. अगर फार्मर जिंदा रहेगा तभी हम जिंदा रहेंगे. ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए आपने एक गोली खाया, आफ्टरनून लंच के लिए एक गोली खाया. ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा. फार्मर जिंदा रहेगा तो हम जिंदा रहेंगे. आप देश के एक तो इतना ब्राइट माइंड से सब लोग, आज जो 100 लोग यहाँ पे है, 100 स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पे है, तो ये आपका जो माइंड है, वो माइंड ब्रिलियंस आप यूज फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ द फार्मिंग कम्युनिटीज इन इंडिया. उतना ही मेरा मैसेज है.
Thank you, Pandurang ji. And audiences, I think the theme for this event was dreams come true, and I think we were able to read at least a part of the minds of people who have actually made their dreams come true. So I think I'll hand over the session to Ashmeet for some Q&As. If some of you have any questions and queries, we still have Pandurang ji and Anushree and Ananya, who I think would be happy to take some of your questions. Ashmeet, over to you.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for their valuable and insightful session. This was amazing. And now E&ICL team would be conducting Q&A. If anyone has their questions, please raise their hand so that we can see you and you can ask anything.
Students
पीछे
can
आपको
also
जो आवाज
type in
आ रहा
chat.
है फार्म में, पीछे जो आपको आवाज आ रहा है फार्म में, वो हाथ से रोटी हम बनाते हैं, मतलब ये लकड़ी का ये उसका ये है रोटी बनाने का, हाथ से बना के वो चूल्हे पे डालने का अभी रोटी बन रही है फर्स्ट क्लास, और मेथी की सब्जी बन रही है तो फार्म में। तो चौधरी सर आपको मैं इनवाइट, तो मैं हमेशा, आप जब भी मिलते हैं फोन पे हमारा बात होता है तो हम हमेशा आपको इनवाइट करते हैं। और अनन्या और अनुश्री, whenever you are in this side, Pune side, please and come to the farm, and all the students I invite everybody to come and see the farm.
Definitely, thank you.
मैं बहुत जल्दी आऊंगा, मैं भी तरस रहा हूँ आपके पास आने के लिए. And in the meantime, we have some questions. I just wanted to point out to the my group, entrepreneurship group, that the other day we were talking about the fatal flaws issues, and this is what Ananya precisely pointed out, that we should not, bump against a false frontier that our idea is the best one. So, yeah, that helps us understand the concept.
And,
Any questions?
yes,
Ashmit?
sir. Actually, Sukrit has raised hand, and before
Yeah.
that, Pandurang sir, that would be so much a learning experience if we visit your farm. And in fact, IIM Sirmaur has a specialized course of tourism and hospitality just for the students who are interested for that, for this. So maybe in future we might organize an industrial visit to your farm. And Sukrit, yes, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you for the insightful session. And my question is to NuutJob's co-founders. So the thing is, for example, if you had heard about Beardo, so that startup was acquired by Marico. So I just wanted to know that you have entered this business for the long run, or are you open to getting acquired by some big business and just exit?
Long run. Our plan is to add more products, and you cannot imagine what like different products we can add to the basket. And this is a long-term process.
Yeah, we don't
plan for
aim
sure.
to.
Definitely, we don't want a big name to acquire or whatever. I think we hold a potential that we can make a difference.
Yeah, but also what I feel is there not just male intimate hygiene. I feel there's so much that we can do for other products that we don't want to just limit ourselves to just male intimate hygiene. We want to explore a different array of products going forward, things that have not been done here in India. We've already started working on it, so why not? Yes, acquisition is something we wouldn't want sometime soon, but if it's on the table.
Ashmit,
Yes, I believe there is some network issues from Ananya's side. Anushree, you want to continue, or that was addressed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think it's we don't see a short-term plan for it. We want to go a long way for this thing for sure.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
so Navda, please go ahead with the question.
Navta has written his question in the chat box. I read it. Did Pandurang sir face any problem in supply chain management since the agri-tourism model work in rural areas? So, sir, what's your thought on this?
Supply, sir, in supply in the sense ki creating more agri-tourism farms. That is what you are saying?
Yes, sir. Actually, you are working from
That
the
is the question?
rural areas. Yeah, yes, sir. What's your supply chain management because you're working from the rural areas?
Correct. So because what I've understood from your question is, did you had the problem creating more and more farms in rural areas? That is what the question is?
Yes, sir. Actually, that you said that people can come and stay in rural area, then they can buy the food. So, arranging all the stays and transportation, and do you guys face any problem related to connectivity? So that was my question precisely.
Okay, I got it. तो उसमें कैसा है कि अगर समझो पुणे के जो टूरिस्ट है वो पुणे के आसपास 150 किलोमीटर्स पे ट्रैवल करते हैं, तो ये जो वो खुद फार्मर, समझो टेक एग्जांपल, मेरा एग्जांपल ले लीजिए आप। अगर आप यहाँ पे मेरे फार्म में आते हैं तो आई विल नॉट गेट, आई विल गेट ओनली लाइक sorghum, wheat, then fresh agricultural produce, craft, handicrafts. So I will only sell what is available in my village and in around 25 kilometers in my village. So whenever the tourists are there, we sell that product to them. Similar thing happen if the farm is nearby to Mumbai area, they will sell whatever available there at the farm. If the farm is in Konkan area, they will sell mangoes, mango pickles, whichever is available in that radius of 25-30 kilometers area. And since that is the reason हमको सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट का अभी तक तो इश्यू नहीं आया है। आगे आ सकता है बिकॉज हम ये चाहते हैं कि ये जो बाइंग है वो सेंट्रलाइज हो जाए और सेंट्रल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो जाए, तो तब आ सकता है हमको। तो तब आप जैसे ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स को हम मतलब वी विल आस्क यू टू हेल्प अस टू सॉर्ट आउट दैट सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट।
Yes, sir, definitely. Thank you for the answer.
Abhishek, please go ahead with it.
Abhishek,
Yes, Aman, please.
yeah, Abhishek, Sagar, you can go ahead with the question.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So first of all, it was a really good session. Thank you so much for the session team. And my question is to Pandurang sir. I'm from Nasik, Maharashtra, and I'm also a farmer's son. So I wanted your advice, like as a budding entrepreneur, how can I develop my agricultural land, or like what are the scope in agri-tourism in the future which I can utilize? So is my question audible?
Yes. आणि तुमचं नाव काय म्हणालात तुम्ही?
अभिषेक क्षीरसागर.
अभिषेक क्षीरसागर, राम राम। अरे
राम राम
तुम
सर।
महाराष्ट्र का है लड़का और इतना अच्छा कॉलेज में पढ़ता है, वही गर्व की बात है। बाकी छोड़ दो। जब आपका पढ़ाई हो जाएगा आप इमीडिएटली आप खेत में आइए।
यस सर।
और आपका कितना जगह है टोटल?
इट इज 10 acres.
बहुत हो गया। 10 एकड़ में आपको सालाना नासिक रीजन में, बिकॉज अभी एग्री टूरिज्म महाराष्ट्र का जो पॉलिसी आया है उसमें आप वाइनरी भी एग्री टूरिज्म में ले सकते हैं। तो आप नासिक रीजन इज द कैपिटल ऑफ वाइन इन इंडिया। तो
Yes, sir.
आप इमेजिन करिए सुला का जो फेस्टिवल होता है, सुला फेस्टिवल्स, वो अभी लास्ट ईयर मतलब 2019 में they had more than 7,500 tourists paying almost 5,500 rupees as an entry fee. I mean the cover charges, imagine करो आप, मतलब 5,500 into 7,500, कितना पैसा हो गया ये। तो ये 10 एकड़ में आपका एक अच्छा सा बढ़िया होम स्टेज बनाइए। ऑलमोस्ट 8 एकड़ में आपका डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन फार्म्स बनाइए, थोड़ा बहुत एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी, हाइड्रोपोनिक्स, एरोपोनिक्स, सब्जियां उगाइए। और शहर में जो है लोग उनको विष मुक्त अभी अन्न चाहिए, फूड चाहिए। तो ऐसा आप कुछ डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन करो कि लोग आए रहे आपके साथ और गिव देम रेसिड्यू फ्री, केमिकल फ्री फूड। आई थिंक पीपल विल लाइक दैट। और आपका तो चल पड़ेगा सर, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, किधर नौकरी करने का जरूरत नहीं सर। आप
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
Rajkumar, Ravi, you can ask your question.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes,
Hello.
Raj.
आपका आवाज
Yeah, sorry, I
आ
have
रहा है सर, बात
connected
करिए आप।
issues. Hello. Yeah, I have connected issues, so I'm unable to turn on the camera. So my question is to Pandurang sir.
बोलिए सर, बोलिए।
सर सर मेरा सवाल है कि सर मेरे पास भी सर जमीन है, तो मेरा हॉबी है सर कि मैं भी फार्मिंग वगैरह करते रहता हूँ सर। हाँ, तो सर मेरे पास अभी पॉन्ड है सर, वहाँ पे मैं फिश
हाँ बोलिए बोलिए।
तो वो फिश, हाँ सर, वो फिश वगैरह मैं रिब्रीड करता था सर वहाँ पे। हेलो
Can anybody help me? उनका क्वेश्चन मुझे मतलब
Rajkumar, if
आवाज
there is
ब्रेक हो रहा था बीच में.
there is a connectivity issues, you can type your question in the chat box.
नहीं बोलिए ना स्मित जी,
Okay,
उनका
sure,
क्वेश्चन
sure.
क्या था?
Sir, he is asking something related to, I guess, marine tourism. He is not
नहीं,
able
मरीन टूरिज्म नहीं, उनका वो फिशरीज हैचिंग कर रहे हैं ना कुछ.
Yes,
I
yes.
was not able to hear the question. I'm so sorry.
ओके, राजकुमार जी, पहला तो आपको बधाई हो, बिकॉज आपका आवाज बिल्कुल राजकुमार जैसा आ रहा है, तो मजा आया सुनने में, क्वेश्चन सुनने में मजा आया. तो पहली बात यह है कि आप फिशरीज का आप जो प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं तो उसका एक रिसोर्स मैपिंग करिए. फिशरीज के साथ में आपके गांव के आजू बाजू में एक ऐतिहासिक ऐसा कुछ मतलब हिस्टोरिकल सिग्निफिकेंस है क्या, जोग्राफिकल सिग्निफिकेंस है क्या, नेचुरल सिग्निफिकेंस है क्या, एक समझो हिस्टोरिकल रिलीजियस, ऐसा अगर कुछ एक अराउंड 20-25 किलोमीटर पे ऐसा कुछ सिग्निफिकेंस है का एक रिसोर्स मैपिंग करिए. आपके फार्म को रास्ता आने जाने के लिए है क्या वो जरा थोड़ी देखिए, लाइट वाटर वो है क्या जरा देखिए आप. एंड फिशरीज के साथ साथ अगर आप एक फिश वहां पे आज अगर पालते हैं आप, तो सी टू दैट आप वो फिशरीज में एटलीस्ट अराउंड एक 10-12 वैरायटीज का फिश आप वहां पे आपके पॉन्ड्स में लेते हैं. सो दैट एक एक्टिविटी ये हो सकता है कि जब टूरिस्ट आएंगे आपके पास तो आप उनको इमिडिएटली 10-12 फिश का वैरायटीज दिखा सकते हैं. और देन एक बार उसको उनको मच्छी पकड़ने के लिए आप थोड़ा सा एक घंटे का एक्टिविटी करा सकते हैं. फिश का वैरायटीज का वो दिखा सकते हैं, फिश का फूड वैल्यूज क्या है वो उनको आप समझा सकते हैं. एंड देन इन द आफ्टरनून ask them only, ask tourist only to make the delicacies. आपका फूड फिशेस का अलग अलग रेसिपीज बनाइए वहां पे, आप मत बनाइए, उनको ही बनाने दीजिए. आपका एक शेफ रहेगा, वो सामने खड़ा रहेगा और वो उनको बताएगा कि फिश आप कैसा कैसा कर सकते हैं. तो वही लोग फिश बना रहे हैं, वही लोग फिश खा रहे हैं, तो बुरा भी हो गया तो भी वो बोलेगा अच्छा हो गया फिश, अच्छा मजा आ रहा है खाने में. तो ये एक्टिविटी है कि ये फॉर्मूला आप ध्यान में रखिए. वो जो फॉर्मूला क्या है कि एक्सप्लोर द रीजन, विलेज कल्चर, ट्रेडिशंस, उसमें आप थोड़ा सा उसको एंगेजमेंट करिए. उसके बाद उसका जो एक्सपीरियंस करने दीजिए उनको. उसके बाद थोड़ा सा एजुकेशन, एंटरटेनमेंट, एंड आफ्टर दैट देयर हैज टू बी सम एनरिचमेंट. वो अगर टूरिस्ट को आज नया कुछ सीखने के लिए मिलेगा, टूरिस्ट को आज अगर कुछ नया उसमें जिंदगी भर वो करते आ रहे हैं, लेकिन आज उनके नॉलेज में कुछ इजाफा हो गया या एक्सपीरियंस में कुछ इजाफा हो गया, तो ऐसा अगर करेंगे वो, तो आपका फार्म वो ध्यान में रखेंगे और डेफिनेटली आपको वर्ड ऑफ माउथ से लोग बहुत आने वाले हैं. बिकॉज आपका फिश पॉन्ड से अगर आपको सालाना 1 लाख रुपया का इनकम है, तो आप टूरिज्म ऐड करने के बाद मेरा मतलब दावा है कि एटलीस्ट 10x का आपका इनकम हो जाएगा. तो आप आपके जो गांव है आप मुझे उसका लोकेशन भेज दीजिए, एड्रेस भेज दीजिए. मैं वो एरिया में अगर कभी आता हूँ तो डेफिनेटली आई विल विजिट दैट फार्म एंड आई विल गाइड यू हाउ टू गो अहेड. थैंक यू.
I hope it addresses your question, Kumar. So Anirban Das, can you please ask your question?
Actually, my question is a bit generic. Like, I want to ask, like, how hard it is for a startup, for any one of the startup to explain your ideas to others and to your investors or someone. Like, how difficult it becomes for you to explain your idea to the investor or any other stakeholder.
I believe what Anirban means is because most of us are budding entrepreneurs, and this would be our first time maybe to pitch our idea to in front of investors. So if any of the guest panel would like to address, like, how is it to address the investor or pitch idea in front of anyone? Anushree, would like to take this question?
Yeah. Hi. So pitching an investment, I think you need to be very confident about your idea and your product that you can actually explain. Like, I think first you need to identify what are you addressing. Are you addressing a problem, or are you addressing a solution? What are you addressing? And pitching to an investor would be you should have a future goal or a future projection, basically, that what are you looking, what is your vision for your brand, for your product, for your startup. And I think this is what the platform Shark Tank India taught us, that you need to be the selling person of your brand, of your product. You know your product the best.
Yeah,
So
basically, when you pitch your brand, you should be so convincing. You should sound like an Eskimo trying to sell ice. I mean, you should sound like a person who's selling ice to an Eskimo. You should, yani, you can sell them anything. Okay, so the confidence in your brand is something that's really important when you talk to investors. Also, I feel the moment that they understand what you're trying to do, what is the difference that you're trying to make, is something that convinces them to believe further in your brand, to have a more yani, don't make make a big thing out of it. In the sense, try and tell them the small things that make your brand, right? What are the small USPs, what are the little things that you took to build your brand? Tell them the story, how it is. I think that is what makes them more involved in being a part of the brand. When investors come in, they come in as partners, they come in to tell your story because they themselves are believing in the product that they are partnering up with. If you sell them the idea that they would passionately feel about it, I think that's what really stands when you go and pitch it to investors. They should know how passionate you're about the brand. They also invest in who you are. They invest in the person who's leading the company. So that's also a very important thing. Yes, I'll have a very stupid idea, but if I can sell it to you, they'll invest in me. They'll invest that, oh, this person can take the brand anywhere. So I think they also invest in the person that's taking the brand ahead. So that's a very important skill to have. Know your product in and out and sell the product as in the best way that you can. So yeah.
Does that addresses your question, Anibal?
Yes, definitely that it does. Thank you.
And I would also like to agree with the last line of what Ananya you said. In the Shark Tank, they said, "मैं आप तुम में invest कर रहा हूँ." Many times and times they have mentioned this. So it was totally relatable. And Ria, now please take over and thank our guest.
So, good evening, one and all present here. We had a wonderful session, and it was a great learning curve for all of us to hear the motivational journey that our panel guests have been through. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and thank Pandurang sir, Sagar, Ananya, and Anushree, who gave their vital time from their busy schedule to grace this meeting. Thank you for engaging with us, and we all definitely have various takeaways from our respective guests. Inspiration is all around us. We just have to look closely and believe. We get motivated by the change in our environment. To be aware and innovate and incorporate those changes is all that entrepreneurship is all about. A little bit of courage, lot of support from your loved ones, and agility is a perfect recipe for any entrepreneur. I would also like to place my hearty thanks to Dr. Nimi Choudhary for helping conduct today's session and moderate this insightful discussion. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of the students attending and hope you have insightful takeaways that you can employ throughout your journey. Thank you all.
Guest, you can leave, and students, please stay. We have announcement and quiz session lined up.
thank you for having us, and all the best to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nimi, for
Dr. Nimi
also.
Choudhary ji, thank you. Ananya and Anushree, thank you so much.
Pandurang sir.
Thank you, Pandurang.
Thank you. Ashmit, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nimi sir. Also, it was a really lovely panel discussion with you.
Same
Great
here.
questions, and I loved being a part of this. Thank you, everybody.
All of us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Please don't leave. We have announcement to make. Correct. So last year, we, the E&ISL team, floated email to take your interest on the incubation, but unfortunately, we did not receive any entries, like less than 20 to 25 entries. And this was disappointing to be part of, like we all are part of prestigious college, and receiving this much less entries is not we were expecting. So as I said that we are students of IIM Sirmaur, so we already made our way above other different hundreds of B schools. But question is how to reach even more heights, how to achieve even better than and competing with other of our business schools. We have Blackies, Exhilarating, FMS. To reach that level, we have to work at that par, not just giving exams and not implementing those ideas. So while interacting with many of my fellow colleagues and classmates, I realized that, and even my E&ISL team realized that there's many other things that we can achieve if we give fuel to aspirations. So we, the E&ISL team, are coming up with the initiative of eCell Connect. We would be floating the form after this session, and serious students who have any interest in entrepreneurship, who wants to get into this field, want to get more insights, can fill this form and become part of it. And pursuing just business administration is not it. You have to make every second count, and we, the ENSL, would be there to help you out in that. Now, my fellow teammate will take over for the quiz.
So hi all, as already told in the invite that we'll be having a quiz based on the guests. So here I'm